Hello, welcome to lesson number 3 on the easiest way to learn chords. So far we've learned the 7 white key chords, and now it is time to learn the 5 black key chords. Fortunately there's only 5, and you've already learned 7 pretty quickly. So the 5 black key chords, we're actually going to look at each white key chord that we learned, and then move up a half step from the white key chords, or move down a half step from the white key chords to find the black key chords. So the best way to do this is an actual demonstration on the piano. Here we go. So here we are at the piano, and now we want to learn how to play our black key chords. So far we've learned all the white key chords, the C, F, G, D, E, A. B is special, so D, E, A has one black key. So if we look at our F chord, we play F. So F, A, C. If we want to play an F sharp chord, which is this black one, that means that the F moved up a half step to the black key. So if one note moves up a half step, all the notes have to move up one half step equally. So I'm going to go ahead and take the F and put it up to F sharp, A to A sharp, C to C sharp. Here we go. We're going to play an F sharp chord. So that's the 3 notes right there. Just trying to move my fingers so you can see them. So if I want to move up to G chord, everything moves up a half step, half step, half step, and there you get your G chord. So if I'm on G chord, if I want to play a G sharp, I just move up a half step. So everything has to move up one half step. So A goes to G sharp, B goes to C, because that's a half step, D goes to D sharp. And there is our G sharp chord. So we could do this with all the black keys. So let's try this in the more abstract. I'm going to go down to D. Okay, now let's find D sharp. So everything has to move up a half step. Here we go. I'm going to move it all up a half step. Like that. Half step, half step, everything's moving a half step. Here's your A sharp chord or B flat, everything moves up a half step. There we go. Now if I move everything up a half step again, I get my B special chord up a half step again. We get C. Now I'm going to move that C chord up a half step. So we're going to get C sharp, everything moves up a half step. There you go. Now the best way to actually practice these chords is what I like to do is I start on C, move everything up a half step, there I get my D chord with the one black key, half step again, I get my G chord or E chord with the G sharp, up a half step, that's F, all white, up again, up a half step again, we get G, all white. Up again, you get your G sharp. Up again, we get A, which has the one black. Up again a half step. Up again a half step. That's how you figure out your chords. So let's say we want to find an F sharp chord, right? Start with the F, go up to the F sharp. There we go. Okay, let's get a little more tricky. Let's say we want to find an E flat chord. So E flat is here. Well, we could think, well, D sharp is the same as E flat, and start from there and go up. But it's actually easier to say, okay, E, go down to E flat, move everything down a half step. So E flat and D sharp are the same chord. Okay, let's find an A flat chord. So I know I've got to go down from the A, so I'll find my A, move down a half step, and we get A flat. Best way to practice is to play everything in half steps until your fingers get comfortable with playing all these chords. Everything's moving a half step. And I know this works because I first started playing it like this when I was 9 years old, and it worked fine for me. So now both hands moving a half step. and back down. Now if you do this enough times, your hands get used to playing the different chords, like a black F sharp or a D sharp. Your hands just start to get the feeling of this. So no matter where you play, you can find a chord. Okay, so quick quiz. Where is a B flat chord? Let's see. B. Oh, B. It's like that, isn't it? B flat. There we go. Hey, I passed my own test just barely. So that is the answer to getting to the black key chords. Okay, up next, power chords for the piano. Right on.